Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Pieces That Pat Paints. I am Pat, I paint pieces. That's kind of that's pretty much all I do really. I paint pieces and I garden, but not on this show. Like I don't do that on the show. Anyway, so we always got a little fun introductions, little quick introductions and things like that where you get to do a little chit chat and talking to everybody. I'm missing my music maker. I don't know what I do with my phone. Maybe Kristen can find it, or we'll play her music or something. I don't know. But I think Miss Kristen is going to join us today, so that's awesome. It's always great to have her. She's got she does a little bit of coloring, pencils, inks, markers, that sort of thing. So it's kind of fun to see her work on top as well as my work. That way you can get a little bit of all of it. Especially Wednesdays is kind of the work in progress Wednesday thing, and so it's kind of fun to do the other things besides just my stuff. I love celebrating all people and their art and things like that. I don't have my phone. Oh. And that's what I used to play my music. I think it's in there on the kitchen counter. Could you grab it? Thank you so much. Anyway, so and there you have it. So it's always we keep a little body with our help from our friends. My hair is all sorts of crazy today. Like it's doing all sorts of fun stuff. So anyway, I think I'm about to cut it all off. So let me know if you think I should cut my hair. That would be fun, and let you guys figure it out. And I definitely got to trim my beard. It's getting a little out of control. I trimmed my mustache last night because I was tired of tasting my cereal twice. It's gross. Anyway, so we've got the magical, mighty Mr. Serosh. We're going to be... Ooh, God, that thing's so bright. Push over there. So we've got the magical Mr. Serosh. We're going to paint on him today. Go bald, join us. Live the beard... or let the beard go forever. Man, no, bro, look at that. I'm 45, man. Look at that hair. Like nobody I know that's 45 has this kind of hair. Like that's like Bon Jovi levels of amazing hair. Like, and I used to have to keep it short all the time when I was a chef. So like, there's this part of me that's like. I put the smaller trash can over there because I thought maybe you wouldn't crunch that one, and well, that didn't work out the way I planned it.
The chair was scooted really far back.
Well, I was sweeping.
It doesn't have to be that far back.
I was sweeping. I definitely.
I should have checked before I just plopped down in it.
Well, I mean that helps. See, Mr. Beardley said I lost my hair at 20, so I was starting to go bald when we first met. Man. Well, you guys were always in hats, so like I didn't see people's hair a lot. So when I was, for those who don't know, I taught culinary school, and I taught Sir McBeardsley, Esquire, when he went through culinary school. I don't think either one of us. Are you still in the industry? I forgot. I thought you said you had gotten out, but a lot of my students didn't keep in it, and a lot of them did. So and I went as long as I could. That's why I'm doing this now. I have a condition where my throat starts to spasm, and I will cough and pass out and hit my head on things. And a kitchen is a very dangerous place to be just randomly passing out in. So So Kristen's like, you need to retire and do something else. So now we do that. Now we hang out here. Says I'm not, unfortunately. I love to get back in, but the money is hard. Yeah, the money is just terrible. For those of you who don't know about restauranting, like for the people who work in the back, they're either working several jobs or they have like a super big passion for it, and they're willing to make the sacrifices that it takes to be involved. Like when we were running that restaurant, we didn't make a lot of money. It wasn't something we were doing to make money. Play a little Indian like groove music today. This is probably our last day with Epidemic Lounge because this is their last of their long format videos. So we'll be heading on to somebody else tomorrow. I said that yesterday, and then I found another one. So which is cool. I love different kinds of music, so I like playing different kinds of things. But yeah, money in that industry is hard. Money in the art industry is hard. Like I don't make a whole lot of money doing this. That's why I need your help to get YouTube to pay for my art supplies. I'm looking at you guys, all you folks that clicked on this video and you're watching me talking about nothing. I need you to help me pay for my art supplies so we can make cool stuff. Like we're making this cool guy right now. This guy's so cool. He's so big, like we can like, oh, I can put him on the right side. There we go. He's so big that like he covers up Kristen completely. She's gone.
Bye.
There's Kristen, and she's gone again. So, and he's huge and he's magnificent, and he looks so good. Holy mackerel! And when you see him in the big camera, it really changes the whole perspective of how big that guy is. Dang. Anyway, so like I was saying, you can help me through likes and subscribes. The likes, the subscribes, and the views. You're already here viewing it if you're listening to me, so you already did that part. Now, if I could just get you to hit the little things and all the stuff I'm supposed to say. What is it? The bell and all that weird stuff. Anyway, it seems like it changes every other month. So definitely try to help us move that along. If we can get to 250, I'm going to paint this massive giant. Although he's not nearly as big as Godfrey now. Like now that this guy seems like, but this thing's right. This thing's really old though. It's like 84 or 85. I got to look him back up to get for sure. But it's from the 80s. It's been in my. First, I got it. I had it in a box full of old minis, and then I stripped it, and then I've got it restored and ready to paint. But I'm gonna hold off on it till you guys can get me to 250 subscribers. So, tell your friends, tell your loved ones, tell your coworkers, tell that guy down the street you barely like, tell everybody. And there we go. That's about enough of that. Now, Steve, let's switch us over to that Payne camera, will you? Oh yeah, I gotta take Steve-O-Vision off. There we go. All right, let's pull back and get a look at where we really need to be as far as that lighting. Okay, so yesterday we have nothing glued together yet because it's actually easier to put this guy together when he's not glued. It's just kind of tight in there, which is also good. So we got this part done. This arm is pretty much ready to go. I'm still kind of considering what I want to do with this back here, but I like kind of the idea that it's fading away as it's coming further down, because we're kind of doing as he changes, as the Serosh comes out and is ready to do his damage and all that stuff. This armor is so great. The little blemishes and stuff in it turned out really nice. So we've got to dry brush this one, but we've also to get it done. But we've got this whole thing to do, and now we got to do this arm up like we did the other one, and get it ready. Now this one's this side, so that is the back. This side is more up top, which is actually for our little technique. This is going to look great. It should really help us bring out that yellow and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I didn't set up a palette either. Look at me. I'm batting 1,000 today, folks. So let's set up a palette. You guys, for anybody who's never seen how this works, let's do this. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So these things are great. It's basically just a sponge, right? And you can make these. You don't have to buy the expensive ones. This one I got for Christmas or birthday or something. I don't remember. And it's nice. This is the Army Painter one. And they make bigger ones than this. This one's kind of, medium size. Not quite the smallest and not quite the biggest. It works out great for my needs. Get all the water into that sponge. Sometimes you have to turn it over, and you want more water in this than you think. You need to it needs to be able to soak it all up. So you're going to over water it to start, and then get rid of the excess water. But yeah. Oh yeah, here's the cat. The cat is now drinking the water again. Our oldest cat. Hey, it's Rasmus. How are you today, man? Good to see you. Kind of getting a wet palette set up so we can reset our paints, and we're gonna get rolling on Serosh. Oh, and you weren't here yesterday, but here's kind of what it's gonna end up looking like as it for the sample piece. So that's what we're looking at. I think you were here, but you dipped out early. I can't remember. These days start to fade into each other, guys, so you'll have to forgive me if I forgot what happened exactly yesterday. Kind of looks like Malekith. It does a little bit like this. The Malekith's all more like dark grays and smoky look, where the Serosh is more white and stuff. But you can tell that whoever worked on one probably worked on the other, and that's pretty typical when it comes down to design for video games and movies and stuff, which is essentially the same kind of designing. When you're doing creature design, it's the same. So most likely the characters were probably designed, put together by the same people. Now the model of Malekith I got was different. Like the way his hair and stuff was done was slightly different than the hair and stuff on this one. And I think we might be going to come through with a little bit more silver on this one, just to bring it up just another level. Maybe here on the edges, and then on the main plates, or at least maybe where the sun is going to hit it. But we're going to need our light. We're going to need to get him put together more again and take a look at it before I make that choice. It looks good set up against Godfrey. When you look at Godfrey in it on him, it looks great. Oh, we need a little paper. So these things come with these little papers. This is just a piece of parchment. So if you're making your own, you just need like a box and a sponge and some parchment. You should just glue the Malekith mini onto Godfrey and spray paint it to extreme saturated yellow. Well, I think I'm gonna buy the file and paint a few more, because I've had some people kind of make inquiries into buying one, and so I think I might buy the file and print it. And if I print it, I want to print it translucent, so then all we have to do is run like yellow ink on it, and it'll look like see-through yellow, because I think that would look really cool to have one like that. But I also like the idea of paint. We're going to be able to do, like I said, more colors this way, so there'll be a little bit more to look at than you should do Romania. Okay, let's see. I don't know that one. Like I said, I don't play the game, so my knowledge of like what is going on is not like the greatest. I kind of get the gist of the story. What is she? Oh, is it buttons?
Yes, he's in your styrofoam box.
Oh my god, this cat's a nut. Hey, no worries, brother. I understand accidentally sending texts like halfway through it. It happens to me all the time. McBeardsley's back. It says, I have talked about it before, but we both agree we'd love to run a bakery. I love baked breads and pastries. Yeah, man, bakeries are cool. Yeah, but it is, man. That's like owning your own show is. You don't make a lot of money, and it's a lot of work, and not always a lot of like appreciation for the level of work you've done, which is not cool, but it happens. All right, where's my Payne's gray? I should have had this set up better this morning. we had a little craziness happen where kids and camps and doctor's appointments in two completely different sides of the city, in this weird city metroplex, that's like an hour and a half of driving to get to one place and another, and they both had to be in the same place at the same time, or in different places at the same time. And it's just brutal, and it did not work. It did not work out in our favor. So, you know, we'll have to try again. Here's what it's my little tiny line. Rasmus says, "Same, Sir McBeardsley. Baking is probably the thing I like the most. I am not the baker. Miss Kristen was the baker. I'm a all kinds of chef, mostly gourmet and charcuteries, but I'm also into, oh goodness. Well, that was a big old blurt. I think that might be almost the last bit of that white. Good Lord, I put way too much on there." McBeardley says, "Coffee is my true love." I learned how to roast coffee in many different ways by hand, but I never want to run a coffee shop. Just want to roast and sell the beans. Yeah, that would actually be kind of cool, just to do the roasting. Bro, what are you doing?
I'm being a menace.
Cat is crazy. Now, we might end up needing that much white. We'll see. We won't on this arm, but we might on the whole of Serosh himself. Yeah, I love coffee. I'm drinking some right now. Oh. When I was teaching at the culinary school, I used to have a coffee pot in my classroom, and I was the chef that made the coffee that all the chefs wanted to drink, because it was like super strong. So we're just going to mix a little bit of our raw umber and our Payne's gray together. And we didn't do this on our test runs, but we started doing this afterwards, and it really has helped us out. So we're going to get that underneath here. Any place where we got those shadows, we're going to put this in. Our depressions in the muscles where we're trying to create muscle contour. We want to put that on there. And again, remember, my paints are super thick, so you might have to do a few more coats than what I do. I'm better with watering down my paints and moving them around on an object than a lot of more standard miniature painters are. So if you feel like you're not getting it on there with the paint you're using, if you're using like an army painter or a Citadel product, or there's a couple other ones. Pro Acryl is a great one. There's another couple of companies out there that make these sort of products. You might have to put a few more strokes on there. You might let it dry and then come back with another coat. Part of why I like working with the thicker paint is I don't have to do as many second coats, but you do have to be in control of your consistency a little bit more, and you have to be a little bit more sure about your stroke, your brush strokes, because it will definitely. Okay, that's the front, that's the top, this is the bottom. We want this whole thing kind of covered. This is kind of like xenothaling, but not really. Alright, tighten up my strokes. Make sure you pull off any excess paint you don't need. And I also do a lot more working with my strokes instead of trying to hide my strokes, which is also kind of different than a lot of your miniature painters. What do you see out there, buddy? Cat is meowing, or making his predator noise. The cats have this noise they have that they make when they're hunting.
He sees something out the window he would very much like to hunt.
Alright, a little silver. Next time I roast some beans, I'll link up and give you some. Heck yeah, man, I'll totally eat some. Or not eat.
Just eat the coffee beans.
I might. I've done it before. Cover them in chocolate. They're pretty tasty. Heck yeah, I will definitely take you up on some coffee beans there, friend. I'm not hard to find. I'm always here. Well, I'm here or I'm driving those kids. That's right, Buttons. This is just silver, straight silver. I'm just dropping this first coat while I'm waiting on that other stuff to dry. So I'm not wasting my time. What is it, dude? Like, he is definitely about something. Fun fact, they chitter because they're excited, but they also replicate the sound of their prey to try to tempt them closer. Yeah. When he learned it from the master hunter, Miss Octavia, our boy cat he can kind of catch stuff, but he is not death. I am death. Like, that's Octavia, my little Siamese killer. She's crazy killer. Nothing lives in this house unless she allows it. Like, it's pretty crazy. Even Buttons. Like, Buttons is only here because Octavia allows it, and she probably could kill him whenever she was ready. She keeps her claws way sharper. Her hunting tactic is just way different than his. His is like, I'm going to chase it. Hers is, I'm going to wait for it, and then I'm going to catch it in one swift stroke, and it's all over. She would have been a great fisherman woman. Person. Fisher person. I guess we say that now, huh? That's what we're supposed to say, isn't it? Fisher person? I desperately try to get that stuff right, because I feel like that's the way we should do things. We should definitely not be fishermen and all that, but okay. Mr. Beersley, well, I got the Broccoli, has a cat named Broccoli, I love it. Hasn't hunted anything. But she's really good at catching flies with her paws mid-flight. Well, that is hunting. That's hunting. I mean, it doesn't feel like hunting to us, because, but if she catches and kills it, she hunted it. She may not have ate it, but... Yeah, the flies don't last long around here. They're definitely subject to assault from ground turrets. That's fun.
With Swiffer Duster, you get a clean, even mama cruiser. Swiffer, the mother of all cleans.
Okay. Okay, nice coat of silver. Get the rest of this knocked out the way we want it. And again, these are these base undercoats. We're going to run all of our hair over the top of them, but we want those darker lines to help us with the kind of where the shades are and where that stuff goes. So it doesn't have to be super exact. Don't trip if you're like, oh gosh, I overdid a little here or underdid a little there. It'll be okay. All right. While that is drying, we'll get the dry brush done on this other side. Kind of digging this little Raja thing going on in here. A little different than our usual boots and pants. Actually, lately we've been playing a little bit more like groove, kind of electro instead of trap music. Which I don't mind a little trap music, it's good stuff, but you know, I do like to change it up. So I'm glad I'm reaching out on that finally. I keep finding newer stations to use for the free music. So not everything is free, you know. And right now we can't really afford to do a subscription. This channel's got to start. It's got to make its own money for that. Get a subscription to pay for music and stuff, music rights or whatever. Yeah, that's much better. Matching himself up with that one. Exactly. This one maybe needs to be. Like I said, I felt like this one might have needed a second round once it dried out a little bit. At least on this front end. Yeah. There we go. Yes. Okay. Can't wait to get into that. Thing's gonna be crazy. I do need to glue. I have a piece that got knocked off. I gotta glue that on there, back on. Man, this guy's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be so cool. All right. So we should be. Yep. Still waiting on that to dry. So we're gonna. Yeah. I guess we'll just go ahead and get on it. Some spaces here in the back. We'll get started on this first. I want to try not to get into the armor as best we can. We're going to have a little bit over paint. It's okay. But you don't want to try to get all the way up here, because if it's going to be silver, we don't want to have to do too much work to try and keep it looking silver. When we get too much on the higher parts of the armor, we're going to have to try and repaint it before we try putting silver on top, or else it'll just bleed right through. Now you could use a mask if you had like, oh, you can do it with silly putty, I suppose. If you had some of that laying around, you can just stick silly putty on there, and it'll pop right off when you're ready for it to come off of there, and it would keep you from painting too much into there. And if I had something painted on there, I probably would want to do that, because this hair is a little unruly. But I wanna. That's why I'm doing it the right way. Doing this side first, and then we'll come back. I always found this part to be weird on this. I don't know, every time I watch the animation, I was like, it has no hind legs. It has no hind legs. Like, it doesn't. It makes no sense to me. But it's pretty cool in a way. Like, it's like, okay, well, it's a spirit animal, so I guess it doesn't really need the hind legs. I mean, or maybe he's the hind legs. It's a little weird. It's also a lot of fun. Creative stuff should be a little weird. If it's not a little weird, then it probably wasn't very creative.
Right?
Honestly. If it wasn't a little weird, it probably wasn't very creative. I need that on a t-shirt.
That'd be fun.
I'm doing this with a much stiffer brush. This is usually one I use for McBeardsley says it doesn't get much more weird than from Software Creations. Yeah, they make some pretty wild stuff, man. It's pretty. I've enjoyed it. I really like their creature design. They're fun to paint. And they kind of let you paint whatever you like. You could change all the styles of this. If you wanted to make this lion look more like a regular lion, you could do that, and it wouldn't take away from it at all. It would still look really cool because the creature design itself is solid. So the colors are just kind of left over. You could really leave that up to your own imagination. And probably come up with a solid creature, concept of no matter what color it was. Although the ethereal is pretty cool, and I kind of wish we had had it clear. I really think having him be a white lion is going to look equally amazing. It may be even cooler in its own way. It might even, on its own right, be a neater look because it's going to have. Oh, it'll have more of a color. There's more of a color scheme in it when you do this. Like if I were to do this in just clear, like a clear resin, and then we just left it wouldn't look the same. Plus, I think you'd have to try and print it all as one piece. Because if you started gluing it together, you'd see the stuff on the inside where it was put together. And printing a piece this big needs a special kind of printer if you're going to print it in one shot. That's a big kitty. I'm the big kitty. Make sure we're good and clean. Make sure we don't have any exposed gray. It gets really hard sometimes because the light can trick you. The light can trick you. So just go ahead and make sure. Rotate it around a bunch of different directions. I guess you could probably, it'd probably be a lot faster to do this particular thing with an airbrush. The airbrush, you can get in there pretty good. And then you could come back after it dried and touch up anything that the airbrush couldn't get into. But it would go a whole lot faster with an airbrush. So those of you that have airbrushes at home, definitely pull that out and do this stage with an airbrush. You'll be you just be faster. But we don't do a lot of airbrush work on here because, again, not everybody has that, and you know, sometimes it's just better to show everybody how to do it with a brush.
Can also get loud and cumbersome on camera.
Oh man, they're loud.
And it's a lot of like messing with it to make it work right, and a lot less of the actual painting too, I feel like.
There's a lot of maintenance with it. I'm also not like super trained with airbrushes. I'm still learning how to get them to do them right and keep them maintained properly. So definitely.
Well, but that's okay. Like your audience isn't either. That's what I'm saying. Like it's a lot easier to just pick up a paintbrush and be like, "This is a paintbrush, and this is how you paint with it," than an airbrush.
Yes. I've been learning how to use an airbrush for a few years, and it's still. I mean, it's a pain. I'll tell you one thing. It was easier to keep up the maintenance on the airbrushes when I was only running cake inks in it.
So the food grade ink
is easier.
Comes out cleaner.
It comes out easier, and it doesn't clog your brush as much. You don't get nearly as many problems with it.
Interesting.
Right, I found that to be really interesting. I was like, wow, this is... So, like, coming from airbrushing cakes and stuff like that, which, like, I can use an airbrush pretty well. It's the maintenance of it that I'm trying to really get good at. Because, you know, you can... If you don't get it maintained properly and you don't... It really can cause you some problems. I've got mine fixed right now. I had to get a new head for it because the head got split. Luckily, I found one in my kit, and so I just gotta, I just gotta put it together. But again, I don't use it for much. I'll probably use it on that sculpture we got from Kate.
Yeah, that's really big.
It's really big.
It's like toddler size big.
Yeah. Yeah, McSpirit says maintenance is always a necessary pain of everything. Yeah, pretty much. Any like big time toys, it definitely is. Or anything that's expensive is definitely going to have some maintenance involved. Higher grade tools and stuff like that all has maintenance. Why are we not playing music? Probably because somebody called me.
Somebody called. Yeah.
There we go. I need a little coffee. Also, it's kind of better to have this up when it's both of us talking, so you can see us talking. I've got to do that, and then I've got to do, hold on, that. Back to the way we used to do it. So, anyway. I still haven't decided which way looks better anyway, so it's... If anybody has opinions, definitely throw it in there. If you'd rather see a little caption, closed caption of us over there, or closed caption, or whatever it is. What do you call that? Picture in picture. Picture in picture.
But then we are sometimes over the top of what you're doing a little bit. I mean, not a lot, but...
Well, yeah, with this one, it doesn't make that much of a difference.
Yeah, we're just making it black.
So even my PC needs maintenance. I have to blast dust out every couple months. Oh, man. Totally. It reminds me, I gotta air out the Xbox. It needs one. Yeah, you gotta, well, and a lot of computer maintenance now is done in the background. When I was younger, you used to have to run all those defrags and all the updates and stuff auto, like, it's done auto now. You used to do it manually back then. Now it's like, hey, I'm kind of slow. Should I run a defrag? Say yes. And you're like, yes, thank you. Just need a little blurb of that. Come on now. I know you've got paint left in you. I know you do. Yep. Probably more than I really need to put out there, but that's okay.
But then I found out about Velsipity, a once daily pill.
Cheers, y'all. Oh. Man, yeah, speaking of like wiping down and stuff, the other day I wiped off the television and the kids were like, their mind was blown. They were like, what? How does the TV get this dirty? And it's like, because you live in a house. What are you talking about? You should see what happens when you leave it outside. You think this is crazy? I'm really trying to get like down in those sections too, because it, with this tangled hair, it's real easy to kind of like miss the underneath of that right there. It's an easy place to miss. Or right in here where it's coming to the meet with the rest of the hair. And what we're trying to do is get the shadows in. So if this is our shadows, then you know it's got to be, we need to get it all the way in there. Sometimes you need to thin your paints down. Sometimes you just need that stiffer bristle brush that's going to get in there and do it. And sometimes you need a smaller brush. Sometimes you just got to change brushes down to something smaller. Get in there. There we go. And this is definitely one of these. This brush here is one that I could just toss at any time. It's not a super expensive brush or anything I'm super attached to, which is another good thing to use on this kind of stuff. You don't want to be putting your Kolinsky Sable brushes and jamming it down into holes and shit, you know. Yeah, you paid a lot more money for those brushes. Don't trash them. Get brushes that you can trash, just specifically for the idea of trashing them. This one's been doing me some service for a minute too. I've had this guy for a while. Him and his brothers. There's like a set of these I bought way cheap a couple years back. Mainly for trying to get the kids to use them instead of using my good stuff. And then I come in here and they've always got my good stuff, and I'm like, oh, quit. Or like somebody else will buy them brushes, and I'll be like, why did y'all give these children Kolinsky Sable brushes? like this one, I'm looking right here. This was a Kolinsky. Like, it's a Kolinsky Sable, but they shredded the outside of it. It wasn't my brush. I don't know whose brush it was. I don't know how it got in here. But man, they absolutely destroyed it. They absolutely shredded the enamel on the brush from leaving it in their water for too long. So I confiscated it, and I've been restoring the brush. We're going to have ourselves another little Kolinsky brush. Unfortunately, by the time I found it, the number was worn off, so I can't tell what size tip it is, but I feel like it might be like a /2, which is one we don't have, which is great. I need a 1. I need a Kalinsky 1. I need to check on those other ones too, see if I can see how they're doing. I'm trying to work the hooks out of them. Alright. I just found something here. So right back in here, I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, you can see them. Sir McBeardsley. Man, PC hardware is insane nowadays. I built my own, and it goes from power button to fully usable in 10 seconds, no joke. Versus how we used to have to wait a couple minutes for minutes. Several minutes. A couple of minutes. It was like, listen, like, I remember when you had to tell DOS to open up Windows so that you could run the Windows program.
And it was like, let me think about that.
Yeah. And you had time to go ahead and
make a sandwich.
Go make a sandwich. Do you have a phone call you need to go take care of real quick? Because you got time, my homie. Yeah, that stuff was crazy. Or like waiting on AOL to boot up. And you're waiting on AOL to dial its way through whatever it had to dial its way through.
You didn't make it a sandwich, you could cook dinner.
You could cook dinner waiting on AOL to connect. When it very first got started. Oh my gosh. I haven't thought about AOL in a long time.
I can hear the fax machine noises in my head right now.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. Spirit just say, we were so patient back then. Waiting for DSL to connect, listen to noises. I was totally on board with what we were doing too. Yeah, it's, oh golly. That was so brutal. And we were like cheerfully waiting. No! We're going to talk to somebody in China. You weren't talking to somebody in China. You were talking to some dude in Wisconsin who was pretending he was from China. Back in the wild days of the internet, before the farmers came. Then Facebook came with its farmland, and then it got bad. Now it's off. Now it's really bad. Internet these days is just a terrible place to be. Nobody needs to be there. Beardsley says, maybe I may be younger, but I was still there for a lot of. Oh yeah. Listen, that stuff can't. We were just older when it happened, so we remember more of the beginnings of it and how it got. It was like I had friends working at AOL. Like we used to sit and drink coffee at this place called Sandman's across the street from the AOL call center in Shepherd's Mall. That was one of our hangout joints, and a lot of my friends worked there. My friends that could pass a piss test anyway. Couldn't pass a piss test, and you weren't working there. But I had a lot of friends of mine working there. You know, I was a chef, so it was a little different. But yeah, we'd meet there at, like, they'd stay open late because of the AOL crowd, because a lot of those workers would get off late. And we'd go over there and sit there and talk about it. And talk about the weirdos they would encounter making customer service calls. Oh, man. There's never been a shortage of strange folks in this world, my friends.
I worked at an inbound call center for a while, and yeah, eventually you're going to have some weirdos call you for sure.
My favorite was the lady that was trying to figure out how to install her AOL on her computer. And the guy was like, well, you need to put the disk in, and it should just pop up this auto run, and we're going to get from there, you know. And she was like, well, I don't know where I'm supposed to put this disk. And he says, well, there's a tray that it goes in that pops out when you hit the button that says open, close. And she's, do you mean the cup holder?
Yes, I do. And it's probably broken.
You're like, oh my god, turns out this lady was putting her fucking teacup, a full cup of tea on the CD-ROM tray. And like, it's like, oh god, your computer is ruined. Beardsley says, man, Farmville and Facebook, what a time. We used to actually know how to do URL coding because of MySpace. I don't remember how to do any of that anymore. Yeah, like...
Right? Remember when we were coding our own MySpace pages?
Yeah.
With music in the background and...
Yeah, because like, you had to interface with it. That was how it worked. It was better that way, man, because then you didn't have, like... Man, I said this today. I'm going to say it again. I don't care. It's my show. I say what I want. There should be a civics test every 5 years in order to maintain your voter registration. I'm just saying. Like, if you can't pass the civics test, you got no business making decisions on how civics work. And that's the deal. Is like, Facebook allows all these people with their opinions to come in and run their mouths, but they're not smart enough to actually... They would have never been able to make a MySpace page the way that anybody would have paid any attention to. Because they're just not, and I hate to be that way, but they're just simply not intelligent enough to do it. And these people are out there influencing everybody and how the direction goes in society. That's why it's important that people who actually vote and change what actually happens in real society, those people, 100 to 10%, need to be able to pass a civics test. And that is my rant for the day. I'm really I apologize to anybody that might have got offended. But good Lord, man. We got people voting for political people who don't even know anything about it. In reality. They just know what they've been told by somebody else. You try to ask them to explain the 3 branches of government and they can't. Remember Bill on Capitol Hill? He's disappointed in you. McBeardsley's with that 100%. I also think people over a certain age should take their driver's test again. Yeah, man, dude, it should just be every 5 years. Forget age. Don't even make it about age. Man, I know people who aren't like old that don't have forgotten how to drive. So like, it isn't necessarily an age thing, man. You should have to retake your driver's test every 5 years. Maybe 10 if you don't get any tickets. You don't get any tickets or any accidents that you were the fault of. Maybe we give you 10 just for being a good doggo. But good Lord, man. Like, some of these people have just forgotten how to drive. McBeard Hitchley says he's down with that. Yeah, I mean, he's crazy. Okay, I am going to do his face a little different. So we are going to come up to the edge of this face with this hair. We're not going to get all the way in it. We're going to do his face later, more like what we did with Godfrey's face. A little bit of a... But we do want to bring this beard up to the edge. Because we'll overpaint down back into the beard too. Get me in here ranting about people driving. Man.
No, don't do that.
People driving is one of the things that makes me the most crazy. It seems like it's getting worse too. I feel like people maybe have started driving like they've forgotten that there's other people on the road. McBeardsley says I love a good rant. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, then you should ride in the car with him, cause
it's a rant the whole way. Cause man, Oklahoma City, I am calling y'all out. What the hell are y'all doing?
Texting.
Texting, probably Facebook, TikToking, TikToking. The whole time they're driving down the side of the road, TikToking. Golly, man, it's nuts. I'm glad my dad wasn't around to see this. He'd have lost it. He says Blanchard has been very dangerous with the amount of wrecks that have been happening recently. Blanchard, man, listen. Oh, God, where you got to go in Blanchard? Nowhere. There is nowhere you have to go. Don't drive like an idiot. But the only place you're going to go in Blanchard on your phone is the funeral parlor. Ugh. I don't know. It's definitely texting. And you can't stop it. I mean, people do it. Heck, I do it occasionally. But dang it, like, there's a difference between, you know, taking a quick look at what the message that just popped up or taking a quick look at the GPS, you know, than it is, like, you see some people seriously, like, driving down the side of the road with their head all the way down, looking at whatever they're looking at. Because they're definitely not looking at the road. Literally nowhere to be a hurry for in Blanchard. Yeah, no, there's nowhere to be a hurry for in Blanchard. It really isn't. And there's nothing going on. Trust me, there's nothing going on your phone, no matter what city you live in, that is as important as other people's lives.
Yeah, I was going to say most of life isn't that serious. If you don't have lights installed on the top of your vehicle to get to places in emergency situations, you're probably fine just driving normal wherever you need to go.
Right. I mean, honestly. And then there's another thing, man. Pull over for the emergency vehicle. For the love of Mike, Oklahoma. Y'all are better than this. Y'all are better than this? I know y'all better than this. I was there. I've been there. You know what I mean? Tornado come, everybody banding together. We all blood. We all together. Snowstorm come, people pulling each other out of ditches. Good Samaritans all the way through. But then, like, everything's hunky-dory normal on the road, you're just going to block that fire truck? Really? Really? Or the ambulance? Maybe that's going to your mom. Maybe that's going to your grandma. You don't know. I really say I love these grants because I agree with all of these. I think most people probably agree with these. This is what's so crazy about this. Like, we can sit here and talk about this until we're blue in the face, and everybody's going to agree with you. Like, if you talk to a normal person, like mano a mano, person to person, and you're talking to them and you're saying, hey, you shouldn't do these things when you're driving, they're going to be like, yeah, you're right. And you're going to be like, yeah, but you do it all the time. And they're going to be like, no, I don't. Not me. And you're like, yeah, you do. You're like, I can admit, sometimes I look at the phone too much. I'm driving. I've been trying to put it like, heck, put it in the glove box or something. I've been trying to put it in the other seat, so I like literally have to like reach over to grab that shit, just because I know what it does. Like, I understand that, like, it can get you to want to touch it. That's what it's designed to do. Anyway, golly, I ain't got nothing to do with painting.
It doesn't.
Good Lord. I'm all ranty. Arr, grr. Angry man, smash. Alright, I'm gonna get out some Naples Yellow. We're gonna get started on putting some hair on this other arm. Maybe even get into some... Oh, wait. No, we hit the hour already. Time flies when you're ranting. Okay, well, we gotta let some stuff dry up. And stuff anyway. But he's starting to look sweet. Pull this light back up. Here we go. Definitely getting there. Yeah, that's cool. Even with just that dark blue on him now, it's already starting to really come together for us. He's gonna look so awesome on top of our guy, Monsieur Godfrey. So we're gonna come back tomorrow, and I gotta go buy some glue. So I'm out. So we'll buy some glue and get that one piece attached, and we'll get onto his armor. we'll go ahead and, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Good old Serosh, he served us well. Clear enough now, Miss Moneypenny. It's kind of what it reminded me, like, when I watched that silly animation too many times, and he started to kind of sound like Sean Connery talking to Moneypenny or something, like, that's enough now. Or maybe even like Daniel Day-Lewis from Gangs of New York. He had that same kind of quiet violence, you know. You knew this guy was getting ready to get ultra violent, but he was being very calm and very like rational about it. You're like, oh, this guy's getting ready to get ultra violent. And I didn't even see the fight after that. I just know the cutscenes from it. Like I don't know what the fight, but I'm assuming that what happens next is he gets ultra violent. Cool. To get this on here so this can set up overnight for us, and then we'll be able to just do that dry wash tomorrow. Make that stuff super. Oh, can't really see what I'm doing. Definitely get better at checking that camera, making sure we're in the right place. Okay. Take off a little bit of that excess. We got a little bit more on there we really need, especially right over here. We want it to pool, but we don't want it to get too crazy. McBeerly says, now I fight as Horaruch, warrior. Then you get thrown into the air and suplexed into the ground. Oh, that's what happens after that. Oh, yeah, that sounds like I said. He was about to get ultra violent. Like you could definitely feel it. A touch of the old ultra violence was coming, because he was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna let my dog get you. I'm gonna get you. Hey, it's really cool. And I did open up the Melania, or not Melania, the oh man, now I've forgotten what it was. It's the Moon Witch. I have her, and we'll be working on her next. Ronnie. I opened her up and opened up that page and took a little quick look at it to make sure all the model looked good, and it looks pretty cool. I can't wait to actually open it up and start messing with it. I know you guys are going to enjoy that too, so yeah, she's going to be super cool. Yeah, Ronnie, so neat. So, Miss Beerley says he trades his great axe for his bare hands and hits even harder. That makes no sense. But that's a video game for you, right? Anyway, oh yeah, let's take a look at these other brushes real quick. Need to just chew up just a little bit more time. So we're still working on these guys. This one's starting to get a little bit better. Maybe another couple rounds of soaping it up and I can bring these guys back to life. But these are both Kalinskis. And this is we got a 18-0 and a 10-0. So if we can get these things restored, these could be really, really useful for us when we get to the smaller pieces again. These bigger pieces were totally still in great shape. But when we get down to the little itty bitty guys, if we're trying to put like eyeballs on them and stuff, this would be helpful. And I won't have to buy new ones because they're like $12 a piece. Anyway, and I'm cheap. I am. So, all right. Well, you guys have a great day. Don't touch that. Why am I touching that? It's all full of paint. Ugh. You guys have a great day. We're gonna. Oh, let's look at the Miss Kristen. What do you got going on? Oh, the bird and the palace.
Yeah.
Pagoda. Oh yeah, that's looking great. It looks so cool on camera. Oh yeah, that looks awesome. Are you doing the dragon next?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, Japanese. It's very Japanese. crane and that kind of pagoda. And then moving over, the next one she's going to do is this dragon.
This is gonna be fun. I'm really excited.
Really cool, yeah. And this is out of
Worlds Within Worlds.
Worlds Within Worlds by Kirby
Rosanes.
Really cool. Beardley says, well, back to multiple hour-long video essays on video games that I like, because that's how I spend my time. Yeah. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. As long as you enjoy it, that's what really matters, folks. As long as you enjoy what you do, it should be all good. So, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming by to see us today. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun ranting. If I hurt anybody's feelings with my rants, sorry. I mean to hurt your feelings or nothing, but, you know, whatever. It makes the working day pass by. Yes, it does. Experientially, it definitely does. Awesome. Well, thanks to you, sir. Thanks to Rasmus, who showed up earlier today and gave us a little bit of fun to laugh at and checked in on us. And thanks for anybody else who stopped by who didn't drop in the chat. Really appreciate you guys too. Don't have to involve yourself in the insanity if you don't want to. I'm not here to make you do things. I'm not your dad. I have 4 children and I don't want to be anybody else's dad. That's enough. Anyway, you guys have a great day. We're going to be back at you tomorrow, and we're going to get this Serosh rolling even more. I'm really excited to see him come out and be his self on top of our magnificent piece. Anyway, let's see, what else am I supposed to say? Give us the likes, give us the subscribes. Remember, 250, and we're going to make this old giant look like he's going to look really cool. He's got a lot of gribblies on it, so we've got a lot of neat things we can do with him. And then we got Ronnie coming after Godfrey, and then I have another fun side project that's too big to be brought into here. So we're talking about what kind of video we're gonna do for that. So that'll be exciting. I'm really excited to get working on this. I'm gonna go pick up a lot of the supplies for today, so I gotta make some choices. Anyway, from all of us here at Qualdridge Studios, to all of you fine folks watching wherever you are, this has been Pieces of Pat Paints. I am Pat. That is the lovely Miss Kristen, my partner in all things life, and my wife and all that stuff. And you guys are amazing, and we're gonna talk to you later. Bye.